It is now time to study the basic principles of what is religion, who is God, and why we pray. We need to understand what is the reason we make such an effort. Everything else has been developed. The end of evolution signifies the end of the physical universe evolution as well. It is the end of the evolution of physical material in the universe, and the evolution of knowledge advancement has also ended in the human world. We all exist within the universe. According to the law of 3 to 7, the universe has progressed to 70%. This means the end of the evolution period. In the history of humankind, the earth has also completed 70% of its development. And the question is, how are we going to operate the remaining 30%? The 70% development provided an environment for our souls to fulfill what was lacking. And after completing development, we have reached 70%. After equipping ourselves with all the basic knowledge, it means that we are now living in a knowledge-based society. It means the end of the 70% development. There is no further development of the common knowledge. Then, what is knowledge? It is energy. Knowledge is the product of humanity, and when this energy is compressed, it produces the highest form of society that we call the global community. The only thing that humans have produced is knowledge. Knowledge is utilized to build a building such as this. Humans produce knowledge. When we have reached 70%, we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to utilize this knowledge, and what kind of understanding should we have about knowledge? Knowledge is energy produced by humans. This knowledge is the true spiritual power. It is a fallacy to think that you can have spiritual power without knowledge. When your soul is full of knowledge, then your soul energy expands, making a connection with the universe, and the soul is able to see the cosmos. Then you will be able to operate the universe. You try hard to receive spiritual messages, but then what are you going to do with it? You can receive all the spiritual messages in the world, but people will not believe you. Why? When you receive spiritual messages, then you have to organize and explain it to the person in front of you in a way that they can understand it. The message has to be understandable to the world so that it can benefit the world far and wide. An ignorant person receives these spiritual messages and talks about it only in terms that he or she is capable of. They talk, but others don't understand it. People think they are crazy. When spiritual mediums receive messages and tell about it to the world, people think they are crazy. So that's what happened. So, equipping yourself with knowledge is essential. Studying books is not learning knowledge. Learning the principle of how to live with others is knowledge. Studying and learning about these principles in daily life is knowledge. All Hongikingan were born after the Second World War and are living with other people to complete the study of righteous living in our daily lives. That is why the door to the world is wide open, and people can travel to other countries, and all ethnic groups can meet each other. The United States is a gathering of all ethnic people in the world. People are gathered here to live together in harmony. The United States is a new city in the world, and if people understand the significance of the United States, America has everything necessary to create a wonderful world. But if America tries to rule the world with power, then this is a mistake. No, this will not work. No one wants to lose. If this were to happen, then you have conflicts and fighting. This will lead to a dangerous situation. If America does things wisely that benefits the world, then the world will respect the United States. America has all the ethnic groups of the world living in it. When the world respects America and its ethnic inhabitants return back to their respective countries, they are respected as well. This is a win-win situation. Who will lead the United States to become a respected country? Who will be the mentor to teach? Who will guide the leaders of America with spiritual power? The future of America depends on this. We try to earn and gain power because we lack material and power up to now. However, now that we have everything in the world, we have entered the post-era, where the question is how well and wisely we can operate the world. We have accomplished a lot. If we don't manage what we have accomplished well, then our accomplishment can actually be our poison. So don't try to do something spiritual right now. Try to treat the person in front of you correctly. If you do this right, then you become pure and true spirituality will ensue. If you hate the person in front of you and don't treat the person in front of you correctly, and you expect to have spiritual power, no way. That can never happen. The person in front of you is the true treasure. If you treat this treasure correctly, then the next step in life will occur. If you treat and lead 10 people in front of you correctly, then God will give you the power to lead 10 people. If you treat and lead 100 people correctly, then God will give you power and energy and wisdom to lead 100 people. If you lead 1,000 people, then God will give you the power to lead 1,000 people. But if you try to live well by yourself, then He gives you no power. God will say, "Do what you will. You are on your own." The future or the post-era will be ruled by what you have done beneficially for others. God will give power accordingly. If you lead one person righteously, then grand nature will give the power to lead 10 people. If you lead 10 people well, then grand nature will give the power to lead 100 people. This is the principle of multiplication. Benefit other people. That is the way to receive blessings and power from heaven. The previous era was a period where we received power from earth to grow. Now, the era of management or the post-era is upon us. It is a period where we have to work and become active with power received from heaven. That is why people try to receive power from heaven, but God asks if you have treated people in front of you correctly. God looks and sees that you haven't done well, then heaven will not give even 0.1 millimeter of power.